I'm going to tell you exactly where the top 5 players remaining in the basketball transfer portal are going to end up. Now, coming in at number 5 on the transfer portal rankings, according to 24/7 Sports, is Arthur Kaluma, the sophomore forward from Creighton. Now, Kaluma is currently involved in the NBA draft process, but for the sake of this video, I am going to assume that he's going to take his name out, which I think is a fair assumption because I'm not sure if he's going to love his projection at this current moment. Now, Kaluma can do a lot to build his draft profile and his draft status by making the right selection in the transfer portal and going forward. Now, Kaluma had a great year last year. Maybe not as big of a jump as he would have liked. He averaged 12 points a game, along with his 6 rebounds and 2 assists. His efficiency was decent. That's likely where he would want to improve his game, especially his three-point shooting. He was just 31% from outside. I think that's what's going to take him and his draft stock to the next level. I think Kaluma wants to go to a Power 5 school, somewhere where he can shine a little bit brighter on a bigger stage than at Creighton, but a place that also has a little bit of opportunity. For that reason, I am going to predict that Kaluma is going to the Missouri Tigers and to replace Kobe Brown as that shooting, scoring, and versatile wing in that offense. I think Dennis Gates gets his hands on Arthur Kaluma, and I think it's a great pickup for the Tigers. Now, if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed yet to College Hoops Tonight, please consider doing so. We are just getting started on our off-season content. We're going to be uploading twice a week here on throughout the summer until next season comes up. We're talking transfer portal, NBA draft prospects, and eventually team previews. Please consider subscribing if you haven't to College Hoops Tonight. If you have already, you're an OG, and God bless you. Well, at number 4, guess who's back? Caleb Love back in the transfer portal after decommitting from Michigan over a week ago. Love, originally the junior guard from North Carolina, entering the transfer portal this cycle around. Love is a really good shot-making and playmaking guard, although he's been pretty inefficient as a high-volume scorer for the better part of his career. Last year at UNC, averaged nearly 17 points per game, but not on great splits. 38% from the field, 30% from 3, and 77% from the charity stripe. Love is a really, really good shot maker, and he's got a lot of skill on the basketball. Doesn't really do a ton else for your ball club. He can facilitate a little bit here and there, and he's not necessarily known for his defense. Caleb Love should be looking for a team where he can really come in and kind of be the guy. He needs to look for an up-tempo system in a Power 5 school and an opportunity where he can get a lot of minutes, ball handling opportunity, and shots up. Now, a lot of requirements there for Caleb Love to have a good fit, but in the end, my prediction for Caleb Love is to end up at Arizona and be the new point guard for the Arizona Wildcats. Their mainstay guy, Kirk Kriisa, out the door. He was their lead guard over this past season. There's definitely an opening there for a new lead guard at the University of Arizona. However, Love being recruited by tons of different schools right now. I think he's going to end up with the Wildcats and Tommy Lloyd, but only time will tell. Number 3 on this list is Ernest Udeh Jr., according to 24/7 Sports, the freshman big man coming out of Kansas University. He left after his freshman year. This is a guy who is a really highly talented recruit coming out of high school, a 4-star prospect. He was 32nd in the nation nationally, one of the highest ranked centers coming into his career at Kansas. Short career for the Jayhawks, just the 1 season. Wasn't able to produce much. He was struggling to find minutes on a team that was trying to go back-to-back for the national championship. Obviously, they fell well short of that. Currently, at this moment, Ernest Udeh Jr., for the most part, is a rim-running big man. He's really good within 5 feet of the basket. He's got a little bit of a post move game. Definitely needs to develop his offense a little more going forward. He's physical, he's athletic, he's 6'10", 230. Love the body for his age. Doesn't need a lot of development from that physicality perspective. This is a guy who could be a really, really good rebounder next year. And we could see him averaging 8 rebounds a game, maybe even more for some team wherever he ends up going. He's also going to be a great rim protector. I love that about Uday Jr. I think he needs to be aiming for a school, another Power 5 school, where there are opportunities at the big man spot, where there are some big minutes that have opened up over this offseason due to other movement. And that's why, for my prediction, I'm going to have Ernest Uday Jr. going to TCU to join the Horned Frogs. He recently visited them. Not sure quite how that all went down, but it makes a lot of sense. TCU, a very good team in the Big 12. They've gotten a lot better over the past couple of years. Their guy who they've been kind of grooming to be that star big man, Eddie Lampkin Jr., out the door in the transfer portal to Colorado. So it makes sense for Uday Jr. to go into TCU. He gets big minutes right away, could probably be a star in the Big 12. Maybe he's being looked at as an NBA draft prospect next year. So I think Ernest Uday Jr. going to TCU. Getting closer to the top here at number 2, we've got Julian Phillips, the transfer from Tennessee. The forward, the 6'8", rangy forward, about 200 pounds. Now, his name is currently in the NBA draft. This is before the deadline for players to withdraw their names from the draft. I personally think that Phillips is going to withdraw his name from the draft. I think if he comes back, transfers to another school, has a big sophomore season, he's a guy that we could see go in the first round. I think right now he's a name that will at best go towards the back half of the second round. So I think he stays in the transfer portal. Over his freshman season at Tennessee, he definitely showed people some things. He averaged a little over 8 points per game, and he showed the versatility of his game. He can do a little bit of everything. He can handle the basketball, get his own shot. He can play make for his teammates a little bit. He's great off the basketball, a great cutter. And then also, to Rick Barnes' liking, he's a very good defender as well, which I think makes him an even bigger target going forward this year. The biggest problem for Phillips is his three-point shot. He struggled from the outside, and people could kind of leave him open, which is a big bugaboo, especially for his NBA draft stock. He only hit 23.9% of his threes. That number is going to have to go up for his draft stock to go up. Now, Julian Phillips transferring out of Tennessee, probably wanting a bigger role, wanting more shots, and to really shine a little bit more to showcase his future. I think obviously this is a Power 5 guy, and he wants to go to a school where there's availability in the offensive side of the basketball. And for that reason, my prediction is he is going to go to the University of Auburn and stay in the SEC. Forward Alan Flanagan out the door for the Tigers this year. He fits Bruce Pearl's MO really, really well. He's a great defensive player, a good versatile wing, but this Auburn team was bad offensively last year and didn't really have much of an identity. Julian Phillips could be maybe immediately the best offensive player on this team. He was recruited heavily by Auburn coming out of high school. That was one of his final choices before he eventually decided to go to Tennessee. I think he turns back the clock and instead decides to go to Auburn and stay in the SEC this year and hang out with Bruce Pearl. All right, the number 1 player left in the transfer portal, Grant Nelson. A lot of hype around this guy. He is a unicorn, and I made a video a couple of months ago about how much I loved this kid and his draft prospects. Unfortunately, scouts don't seem to believe the same way that I do in this kid. He's going through the NBA draft process right now. I don't think he's loving what he's hearing. He might get a second-round guarantee, but I don't think he's going to get much more than that. So for that reason, I think it's in his best interest to come back to school, transfer to a Power 5 school, and really put his name out there and show everybody what he could do on a bigger stage. Now, Grant Nelson had a huge breakout in his junior season this past year for the North Dakota State Bison. This kid is 6'11". He can handle the ball like a guard. He can shoot the three ball a little bit. Unfortunately, that's one of his biggest areas for improvement. He shot just 27% from three, but he's definitely streaky from outside, and he's shown that he can hit from there. He just hasn't done it super consistently yet to this point. This kid is athletic as all get out. He's a great defender. He averaged 2 blocks a game over this past season at North Dakota State. I think he needs to come back to college basketball, transfer to a bigger school, show what he can do on a big stage, and he could really lift his draft stock for next year and probably be a first-round pick, because I personally think he's deserving of so. Now, given all that, I think there are going to be tons of schools that are going after this kid if he pulls his name out of the NBA draft. And the school that I think is going to end up getting him, if he does so, is the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Something about this fit makes perfect sense in my mind. I think Nelson would fit in really well in Mark Few's offense. I think he could showcase what he can do a little bit more. The competition level is definitely higher at Gonzaga. They're going to play a lot of good non-conference teams, and they're also going to obviously be in the NCAA tournament once again. But he can also shine a ton against those conference guys in the WCC. I think it would be in his best interest to go to Gonzaga. I think that's a terrific fit for Grant Nelson. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. We're just kicking off our off-season content for the summer and going on into the fall. We're going to be uploading twice a week, hopefully on Wednesdays and Fridays, so please subscribe down below if you haven't already. Again, thank you if you are already a channel member here at College Hoops Tonight. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.